Hey everyone, Jim T. Graham with RCGroups.com. We are live with the RC Groups live hangout. It is June 1st. I can't believe it's June. And in honor of brother Greg Allman passing the mortal coil, I decided to let my hair down and let my Greg Allmanness go. Wow. I was looking at a picture of him and I was like, holy cow, I could look just like Greg Allman in about 3 minutes.
I don't know. I mean, I guess you're pulling it off.
What do you mean you guess I'm pulling it off? Let me see what do you guys look like Greg Allman in the next 2 minutes.
Oh, brother.
All right, all right. So, Jason Cole.
What's up?
We were just at the airfield hanging out.
Yes, we were.
And so one thing that we saw that was very awesome, it was a kid. He was 10 years old. His name was Damon. And he had do you know what airplane he had? I know it was from Horizon and it had safe on. Ah, yes. So he had the Apprentice and he was doing touch and goes. And I said, hey man, how old are you? He said, I'm 10. And he's been flying for, count them, 2 days.
Wow.
Yeah. So I went up. Well, okay. So this is a testament to the technology, I think. I went over to watch his fingers as he was landing because he'd be like, wow, wow. And then grease these landings, right?
Yeah.
And I had a feeling my son flies this way. I went over and so he was, here we go. Hold on. So he was doing what kids these days do. You know how we fly, it's all smooth and we know where we're going. He was flying it. Let me get it right. He was flying it like this. Boink, 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 boink. And that AS3X was smoothing out his movements and allowing him to fly an airplane this way.
So that would be a good pro against AS3X because it teaches you wrong, or is that a pro because, I mean, I don't know, man. What do you do?
Because his airplane left in one piece.
Turn AS3X off and then let him fly it, learn it that way, then go?
Well, I had a feeling because, like I say, I've seen my son do this so much, and I went over and he flies real flight that way. And I said, you're doing awesome, and these landings couldn't be any prettier, but I would just work on smoother inputs on those sticks. But once again, 2 days, give me a break. He was rocking it, I think.
Yeah, and it wasn't, Matt, it wasn't to the point where it was teaching him bad habits. It was still acting herky-jerky like he was controlling it, but it was just not allowing him to wind it up into the ground, in 2 seconds. It was, has the bank limiter stuff. So it was preventing him from rolling it over upside down, from pitching down too far to dive it into the ground. It just allowed him to keep it in the air for a good amount of time and land it safely. So, I mean, I think that's awesome. Simulators are cool, but this is out in the real world, and it's a really safe way to learn how to fly. And it's awesome to see, a 10-year-old kid out there doing that. So the hobby is alive. And
he was getting a lot of great input from the guys at the field. So when he greased landing, we would all praise him. And
yeah,
there's another older member pulled him aside and said, if I could give you one tip, it would be this. And so it was good to see all the guys at the club really taking care of this kid and making him love the hobby.
Yeah, and I guess that was his mom, but there was maybe not, but there was another lady there with a really young baby almost. And I heard one of the guys telling her about how it's educational and aeronautics and all this stuff. And she was like, yeah, we're going to come back, And so they were just real excited about aviation.
So you guys don't have like old people at your club that would dissuade this young man in some way, shape, or form with excess rules? Those types, right?
I have to say, I thought of it while we were sitting there. I didn't say it out loud. So I walked up just like I look today and asked a guy there to teach me how to fly RC. And he has said after the fact that he thought, why would a hippie want to fly RC?
Nice.
So back in those days, those guys were super supportive. They didn't care about anything. 3D wasn't invented right yet. And so when 3D did come about and we were flying it there, Jason was there during that time. They loved that too. And Jason, it's so weird because they're still core club members and they're all old guys, but they've always been really accepting of all styles and just having a good time.
Yeah, to a point. So there was a story that goes back, many years ago. when I was flying with Hobby Lobby, and we were doing some product testing or whatever, and I was doing some 3D on the runway while another pilot was flying, and he didn't take too kindly to me hovering while he was trying to fly his airplane, and it almost turned into a fist fight. And I was like, what is happening right now? This is supposed to be fun. It's like, I don't know. It was really weird, but I actually saw that guy on Tuesday this week.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he was dead now, so it doesn't.
No, he's still doing the same thing, and
he's
we're all buddy
nice.
now.
Yeah, he's really nice to us.
Yeah,
I don't know how that happened, but it went from that to really, really nice. Matt, do you have a club where you live?
I do. Yeah, I was there today twice, actually. I'm test flying the Goblin from Ready Made RC, the Strix Goblin. And it's a very high performance plank style airplane. Looks like a football with a little short wing, very thin cord, very thin airfoil. It's designed to go fast. It goes, I clocked it with the Vector at 132 miles an hour today. So that said, I went there this morning at about 9:30 a.m. and the local older gentleman was there, and he is a stickler for every rule humanly possible. And as soon as I pulled in, he walked over to my truck before I even got out and stood next to my window. And so I have black tinted windows in my pickup. So I roll it down and I go in the way I usually greet people. How you doing, man? Good to see you. That's literally what I said. And he goes, you're parked in the wrong place. I was like, what? He goes, you can't park there. You got to move over 6 feet. And I looked down and I'm like, okay. I just did it. I moved and got out. I've probably been to that field 100 times. And then when I got out, I was like, we started talking, and he proceeded to tell me the flight boundaries of where I could and couldn't fly. And I was like, I know, man, I'm a member here. And he's like, oh, yeah. Well, we don't want to go too far that way because we'll get in trouble. And don't go over there. And if you fly FPV, don't go over 400 feet. And I'm like, whoa, man. So I literally didn't want to argue with the guy because that's all that would happen. There's no winning in that situation. Like one time we were flying, some guy did a high up line, and he goes, you're going over 400 feet. And I go, no, we're not. Yes, you are. And I'm like, no, I'm looking at it right here in the OSD, and he's at 310 feet. And he just shut up because he thought he knew what was 400 feet.
Data.
Not that it matters, though, right? You can easily punch through 400 feet. There's no AMA rules against it. But he was convinced that it was against the law, and therefore it wasn't worth my time to argue with this man. So this morning, I flew one round line of sight, dialed it in, and I just left because I knew that he would be gone in 10 minutes, and I would come back and he would be not there. And that's what happened. I left. I went and got lunch. I came back. I had the whole field to myself.
Nice.
I flew FPV, dialed the plane in. The rest is history.
Nice.
Well, we're really lucky to have a club like we do. And the name of our club is Edwin Warner Model Aviators, just in case anyone's wondering, out here in Nashville, Tennessee.
Nice. Well, ours is the Cleveland RC Club. There's two of them, actually. There's two chapters, the electric field and then the gas electric field, which is like 35 miles away. And apparently they're at odds with one another. I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this, but I don't really care. But they're at odds with one another because the president apparently likes, this is what people tell me. The president likes gas airplanes, doesn't put any money into the electric field. So that's when things go. There's dissension amongst their ranks. Meanwhile, I just go there and have fun flying and leave, you know?
You're going to straight RC drama, man.
Oh, yeah, I did just kind of dip into the drama. Well, you know what? I'll save it for another day.
Ladies and gentlemen,
people think I'm
people
think I'm this ear that they can yak about their problems to, and I guess it's just the way I am.
It's the way you look.
Yeah, I'm a sponge, like I can soak up all this drama and somehow not expel it, and then I explode.
Yes.
Nikolai?
Hey, Nikolai, tell us about your wife's tattoo. I can hear myself on some of these headphones.
No, well, I was muted when that happens. I don't know where that's coming from, but yeah, you're echoing. Sure. but Matt's not. He sounds fine.
Thanks,
I got my headphones on, so it's not me. It's
It's
not you,
Nick.
Nick.
It's the new guy who pops in and screws everything up.
No, it was happened before Nick came on.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there's an L in that ear hole. That's you got him on right. Can you hear us now, Nick?
Gotcha.
So tell us about your wife's new tattoo.
Oh.
Was that a surprise or?
Yeah, I was total surprised. She said she told me that she was going to go hang out with one of her friends, which she was going to do, but she was going to hang out with her at the tattoo shop. So yeah, she sent me a message, and I was still covering the Jet event, and she said, "So you want to know what I'm doing?" I'm like, she sent me a picture. I'm like, "Oh, you got another tattoo?" And I looked at it closer. I'm like, "Oh, it's a propeller. Oh,
Look.
it's celebrating our anniversary. Sweet."
Here we go. Let's see. Let me see how the sharing's going to go because you never know.
It.
Oh, good. Safe.
Got it up. If somebody wants to feature me.
There we go. Okay. All right. Let me get back on here. The big question I had was, why did she go with a 10-inch prop? Was there any reason in particular? I mean, is that what was laying around? She grabbed one and went to the tattoo place?
No, it's our 10th anniversary.
Awesome.
Fun.
It's a 10 by 10.
Yeah.
A lot of pitch, a lot of thrust. Hey.
Speaking of, let me find it here. Speaking of images, I made an image for the pecan patch today.
Pecan patch.
The pecan patch.
Sorry.
Pecan.
I'm going to break this window out. I've become kind of scared of going live with what's on my screen because who knows what's on there. Nothing bad is on there. It's just that, there's a lot of I'm talking more than I should actually be showing. Here we go.
It's your hacking secrets.
Present. Yeah. I'm not a hacker. Okay.
Am I the only one not seeing Jim T or Nikolai's feeds?
Really? It's got to be just you. I see them both.
I see Matt and me, but no Jim and Nikolai, which is weird. Okay.
I bet our guys will tell us on the live chat. So this is an image. How old is this, Matt? 2 years old?
No, that one's much older. Look how young Hojaz is in that picture. That's from when I lived in Atlanta. So that was at least 6-7 years ago.
Jason, this reminds me of that box I made that caught itself on fire.
I don't know what I'm looking at because I can't see nothing but a black screen for you.
Maybe you should log out, log back in.
All right.
Yeah, pop out and pop back in, yo.
All right.
So for those who don't know, the 7th annual Southeastern FPV event sponsored by Ready Made RC and held by Pecan Patch, Mark Murdoch and Judy Murdoch is coming up. And I went and found this image. I can't believe I found it to use it as the main image. Did you see the name tag there, Matt?
Yeah, okay. When you come, wait. Everybody just freeze. Don't move. When Jason comes back in, let's act like our feeds are broken.
Okay.
All right. He should be in any second now. Oh, this is going to be good stuff.
I'll start stuttering like my video is.
I'm going to go like this.
What the heck happened? Oh my gosh. Did you see the last comment on on our last post? They were like, at the whatever minute marker it was, it sounded like a herd of cats, like they were going crazy or something. I was like, let's go back and listen to it. I'm like, yeah, it sounds exactly like that.
Hey, I took that picture.
Yeah, so I borrowed some of your photos, Macon.
Oh, we got feedback again. This is the great episode.
It must be you, Jason Cole. You don't have headphones on.
I am muted when I'm not talking, and I hear no feedback right now, so it's not me.
Check one. Me. No. Okay.
Check.
Check one.
Look at this great photo. It's the Murdochs covering their event.
Dude.
And there's Judy Wilson. Judy is the queen of the show. So this is what she might have on if you go to this event.
She will.
It's like a giant bandana or maybe I don't know.
I heard some big things that look like VW microbuses.
This is a great shot, Mark Murdoch. Suitable for framing, I think.
You see that can on the front?
Yeah.
That's so we can start it. That's starter fluid.
That can holder is made like exactly the right size for it. It's like it was
Oh, you can't make this stuff up.
And here, I'll stop here with this sentence. Go hang out with like-minded RC pilots in a friendly field full of FPV goodness.
Sweet.
That's like a $20 sentence I wrote right there.
It is one of the most fun FPV events I've ever been to, and I'm sad I'm gonna miss it because I'm gonna be on vacation in Florida. But I almost hate to go on vacation because I'm gonna miss this event. It's that good of an event, and the facility is just an FPV playground at heart. I mean, it's the best. It's got like cart trails you can get down and fly, Top Gun style, and just bank and yank and cruise through stuff. There's a quadcopter race course. There's just so many things to go out and explore and do over basically private property that's unpopulated areas. So it's safe. You can go have a ball. It's one of those anything goes kinds of events. It's just a lot of good fun and none of the drama and worries that you have at some other events. But yeah, it's a good one. If you can make it, you need to go.
And it looks like Ready Made will be there.
There's no race. So because there's no racing, there's no like blackout times for free flying. There's no taking up half the course. And there's, like you said, there's no drama because people aren't arguing. Not that racing is bad, but I've seen plenty of times where things get out of hand.
Yeah, and I already saw the firework pictures. They're gearing up for Rolling Thunder.
Rolling Thunder, y'all. I got a video of that on there.
Yeah, it is amazing. It'll blow your mind if you've never seen it before.
Well, I'll tell you where I won't be. I had to call Mark and say that we wouldn't be there, and I'm going to show you where I'm going to be instead. I'm going to be at the Horizon RC Fest at Eli Field in Monticello, Illinois, Saturday, June 10th, 2017.
Score?
Wow, what is going on? We have an audio issue deluxe.
Tell you what.
Sounds fine here.
Think it's me?
I think it's you, Matt. I think headphones are a must.
Check one, check two. Is it doing it?
It's coming and going. It's almost like put those on. We'll refer to it in a minute. Anyway, the Horizon RC Fest 2017 is Saturday, June 10th, and they're going to have all kinds of stuff. They're going to have Inductrix, Hobby Zone Champ, Phoenix RC Flight, first-person video racing, and you can go and fly these things yourself.
See?
The Rock Crawler Challenge, the Race Off-Road, all of this sounds very awesome. Look at these people.
For that Rock Crawler Challenge. That'd be fun. I've never done it before, but it looks like fun.
I'm headed down next week, and I will be there early at Eli Field, which I've actually flown at. And who knows what we might learn at this event or see or report upon. So report upon, that is a terrible turn of a phrase.
How does it sound? How do I sound now?
You sound awesome.
Is it better?
We'll find out in a minute. If it never happens again, it'll be good.
Check one. There we go.
So my word to you is stay tuned to RC Groups, and next week we'll be coming to you out of the field, posting photos, and I'll be shooting some video, and we'll have a lot of good stuff for you out of there. Nikolai, what's going on in your world of RC?
Hey guys, not much right now. I picked up a 3D printer from a guy from the Anglo-Tech podcast, Joe Nell, so he delivered that to me. So I'm just kind of having fun with that and getting it calibrated, printing some little stuff here and there, and hopefully I'll be able to print some cool stuff coming up. But other than that, I'm doing a little review of ProAdrenaline video software. And that's pretty interesting stuff. It can do a lot of the nice features for you.
I've looked up ProAdrenaline. How much does that software cost?
I think it's in the couple $100, $100 to $200 range.
So Jason Cole.
Yes, sir.
I know that you're wrapping up a review today. Tell us about that. Do you have those handy?
Yeah, I mean, I can show you the first thing. The Pagata. I don't know how people say it, but
Yeah, them some fancy looking antenna.
Sounds
These
like
are cool.
Costa.
Yeah,
God.
so these are 5.8 gigahertz. This is an open source design. I forget the guy's name that designed it, but I put it in the review. But basically, so Multi RC sells these. There's other people that sell this design. You can also make your own if you want. It's an open source design, like I said. So it's pretty cool. It's really a nice antenna because it's a really high gain and a really high axial ratio. So for quad guys, if you're alternating left hand, right hand for adjacent channels at a race or something, these do an extremely good job at rejecting the opposite polarization signals coming in. So it almost goes no static, no flicker, no nothing. It's really great for that. They're only $9.99 a piece, which is cool.
What?
Really durable and small and light. It's really good advantage. The only thing that's different that you might prefer a regular CP antenna over this is the null zone at the top of at the top and bottom is larger on these than it is on a traditional CP antenna.
Interesting.
So
It's like an upside down funnel cake instead of a donut.
yeah, I think it's flatter. The radial pattern is flatter and it's got a bigger center, which is because it's got a higher gain, so it's going to reach out farther, so you're going to have a better signal for flying out distances. And the only time you might come across an issue is if you're doing aerobatics or something and you're constantly having the antenna pointed straight back at your receiver. You might see the flicker and notice. But I did a side-by-side test basically where I tried to fly the same path with these and then a standard set of CP antennas. And you can see I've got way less flicker, way less issues on these than I had on those in that specific environment and instance. So it's just good to test. But for $10 a piece, it's worth having a set. You can get them in SMA, RP, SMA, different lengths, stubby or long, and as well as left or right hand polarization. So pretty cool stuff.
I'm gonna have to try those out. I'm still running stock antennas in my stuff, so I definitely need to upgrade.
Yeah, totally.
You need to upgrade your microphone, that's for sure. But
So there, yeah, I guess Jim's showing the video here. This is the guy who's on the left top and the bottom right's a regular. And you can see it's got more issues with the standard CPs and antennas in that specific environment. That was a 200 milliwatt transmitter on a
Look at
Cub.
that. Thing's got some pretty darn good feed there, buddy.
Yeah. So
And
I'm really happy with them.
we have a full review on these on RC Groups. If you'll look right here, it's in the FPV equipment and fitment channel. And so you can go check that out. Now, I just want to show you because a lot of people still don't know. Click on Terry's head, go to the FPV goggles, click on that circle, and then you can find all the FPV related material. It's awesome.
Yep.
Like that thing right there. I need to buy that. That
The Holy Bro? Yeah.
Holy Bro! Oh.
Very awesome.
So Matt asked the question, have we tried the DJI goggles yet? And no. And there's a local guy that pre-ordered them. I'm not going to buy them. I don't think I need them for anything that I do. But there's a guy that bought a set, and as soon as he gets them, I'm going to get my hands on them with my Mavic and fly it around and check it out. I'm curious to try it, but we'll have that experience for you guys whenever I get to do that. But on the other review that Jim was talking about that I'm working on is the new Eachine, the VR D2 Pros.
Oh, yeah.
So it's an update, Nikolai. You have the earlier version of this, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is the newer version. Basically, for me, really, the big things that changed were the faceplate's a little bit wider that they did. So it comes with 2 thickness sizes of foam faceplates that you could put on to make it a little bit more comfortable. They used a leather battery kind of strap holder that's padded a little bit. It's a little bit more comfortable, fits your head a little bit better. So same battery. It's still got the DVR, which is something I'll talk about in a second, which I'm really frustrated with. But these are actually heavier than my Goggles 2, which is the same screen size, but the Goggles 2 is a lot bigger headset physically in the dimensions, and these are heavier than them by a few ounces, which is kind of strange. But this is solid plastic, so that's why it's heavier. The other ones are foam.
I wonder why they went that direction and not foam.
Well, it's just this is, they're basically upgrading this from the original set and save costs, I'm sure, and mold fees. They didn't want to create a whole new design. So essentially what they did was, on the old one, there used to be 2 buttons up here, and the holes are still there, and it's just covered up with a sticker. And the theory is if you pull the sticker off on the bottom, you'll see the logo for the original under here, which I have not tried, but I'm sure that's there. And
Cost cutting at its finest.
This LED, there's a little LED, kind of can see it, little faceplate there, and that doesn't do anything in this set. It used to show the channel number on the old set.
Oh.
It doesn't do anything in this one. You get it now in an OSD. So it's cool. So here's my issues with it. A, it's really not that comfortable for me, at least on my face. Everybody's face is different, I know. It is a diversity receiver, but it just doesn't feel that comfortable on my face. It's okay. It's not terrible. I get a little bit of a light leak coming in from just different places. It does have this magnification screen adjustment, if you can see that.
Yep.
Now, for me, this is super floppy. So just me, handling the goggles, getting them on my face, it will like slide down on one side and be off angle.
Yeah, probably just set it and tape it,
Yeah, so it's like once I get it on my face and I can pull it all the way back, and even at the closest to my eye magnification that I can set this thing, it's still not quite perfect for me. And I have really good eyes, so maybe it's different for people that require some, a little bit different eyesight. But
it's geared towards nearsighted.
Yeah, I couldn't. It was almost like wanting to make my eyes cross, no matter where I set it, and full back was the best spot. I could fly with it okay. I did set it to the 4:3 aspect ratio instead of 16:9, and that helped out quite a bit. So I was able to fly around and do some aerobatics for the quad and stuff. But the whole purpose of me going out and flying these today was to try to get some recorded DVR footage. It's got a micro SD card slot at the top. Right. And I don't even know if you can see it. Where is it? There it is. And so it's got a built-in DVR, and it's got 3 different levels of quality that you can set it for, and one of them's called HD. I was like, really? It's only an SD feed coming in. I was like curious to see how that looked. I literally could not get these to record anything to the SD card.
This whole unit just screams, blah, 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 blah.
And it may be that I have a defective unit. I'm actually just going to roll with the review. I'm going to release it tomorrow, and I'm going to say all this, what happened, and then that this could just be a defective unit, and we'll go from there. But I could get it to what you're supposed to. What I was really frustrated with is it's got a DVR. Awesome. I want to be able to use DVR. I'd like to be able to use it very easily. So one of these mini buttons on the front should just be a start, stop, record button, right?
Yep.
That's not how this works. When you power it on, it comes onto the display and you can see the video feed. Then you have to hit this cam DVR button, and it blinks over to another screen, and it shows you your footage when it works correctly. Half the time, it would just go to a gray screen for me, and I couldn't do anything but hit the button and go back to the normal view. So when I did get it to go to the proper DVR screen and see the video feed, and I can see the SD card and how much time I have, I can record on, you're supposed to hit the plus button to start recording. You see this thing change, and it's counting up in time that it's recording. Everything's supposed to be working correctly. And then I went and took off and started flying like that, and then holy crap, it's extremely laggy.
You have to switch back. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I figured that out rather quickly. So I flew it around, and I was like, oh, this is like flying through HD, like early HD when it was super laggy. It was kind of funny, but I was able to do it and keep it safe. And then I come down, hit the plus button to stop the recording. You see that happen, and I did that twice, and I get home, and 0 files recorded to the SD card. So I'm just guessing I got a bad unit. I tried it multiple times at home, got the manual out, tried recording stuff. It's super frustrating. Man, could not get it to work and record any file. So I'm going to have to roll this review with no DVR recorded footage and talk about why that happened for me. So anyway, for me, it's the good part is it's $89. It's got a lot of features, and the only one that didn't really work for me was the DVR. It'll probably work on regular units, or if you bought it, you can, get a replacement or something. But for the price, if someone is entry level, like they're not sure if they're really going to want to see what this FPV thing is all about, they don't want to spend $500 on a set of Fat Shark HDs, For $80, it's a good screen. It looks good. The video was great when I was flying around just normally. The diversity seemed to work really well. You can see exactly what channel you're on in the OSD. You can see the signal strength of both antennas. It's got a lot of cool things about it, but a lot of frustrating things about it too. So it's kind of give and take. But when you weigh the price versus the value of what you get, it comes out pretty high if that's your budget. But if you got more money, I'd say spend more money and get a little bit higher end set of goggles. But that's just me. So there you go.
Yep.
Well, I don't even think you need to do a review now. Just cut this part out of the video and put that front and center. That pretty much sums up everything about these things. So good job, Jason.
Yeah. So somebody asked, how would I compare these to the Goggles 2? And I like the Goggles 2 better. I think it's more comfortable. And the Goggles 2 doesn't have an adjustable magnification screen, so it just works with my eyes right out of the box. I don't need to adjust the Goggles 2, so that's helpful. And then the only thing I'm missing on the Goggles 2 is the DVR, but I was able to I think I showed that on one of these podcasts. I was able to hack in the Eachine DVR, and I'm able to utilize that to record my footage while I'm flying, and it does a really nice job. So yeah. I still like the Goggles too.
I want to jump in and say, having had both kinds of DVR, I've actually had 3 different DVRs at this point in time. I still prefer to have a monitor with built-in DVR standing next to me while I'm flying through the goggles. The only problem is when I'm recording that for the review or for a viewer, you're seeing what that monitor's seeing, not exactly what the goggles are. But if you're just out in the field looking for some good DVR of what you're flying, that is the best way to do it. It's not primary. It's not on your face. It's over here. It's not going to affect what you're seeing or anything like that. So
yeah, and Skydive, if you order the Goggles 2 and you want to do the DVR mod, I did do an article on how I did that. So that's on RCGroups. You can search that, or if you want to ping me, I can send you a link or something. But I think that's really helpful. It's just nice to be able to reach up, press that button, start recording.
Bing, bing, bing. Hey, are we at a jumping out point? Because Jason and Cole and I almost got arrested, and I thought we should tell the story.
Oh, yeah.
Wait a minute.
All right. So I have the story pulled up here. We'll go look at it in a second, but I'll cut over to my head here. So Jim Burke, recently the owner of RC Groups, Flying Giants, and HeliFreak.com, and Real Flight, took ownership of a new airplane, and I knew he was in our airspace. And I was like, hey, man, why don't you come and eat lunch with us on your way through the airspace? And he said, sure. So Jason Cola, he said, where should I go? And I said, go to Tune Airport. It's not that far away from my house. It's where everybody I know flies out of. That's not out of the BNA Nashville Airport. And so we go down, and Jason and I have my camera. Jason has video camera. We're waiting. We're talking to this guy. We're telling a story. And here comes Jim Burke over the airport in a smoky low pass. Yeah. And so I jump up, run outside onto the little, it's kind of outside of the lobby of the little tiny airport. I didn't get on the tarmac, but I'm shooting pictures. Jason's shooting video. And then he says, Jim is waving us over. He lands. And so we're walking out to the plane, and the manager of the airport came out and grabbed us.
Physically.
Yeah, no, grabbed us. And I thought, I'm a hippie. I'm the safest guy you can have at an airport, right? So Jason, actually, I was totally compliant. I never mess with authorities. If you've got a problem, I'm happy to comply. Jason, you did not comply. Jason was incredulous that she would have any question as to why we should not be able to approach an airplane that says RC Groups on the side.
Yeah.
Oh, we have RC Groups shirts on,
Well, I've been to lots of airports. I've never been not able to walk out to the airplane with the pilot that owns the airplane.
They didn't have that sign on the door that says, do not walk out this door through the lobby onto the tarmac without.
Well, and we're not talking like a international airport with jetliners flying in. I mean, there were some jets that land here, but this is a little podunk airport. Right. It's just a little place. It's not, it's just a strip.
Well, that little podunk airport was her little podunk airport, and she put the smack down on you boys. So keep going.
Man.
She was very nice about it. Let me say, while she was very insistent that we stop immediately and file multiple reams of paperwork with lawyers and insurance companies. That's really what she's like. You got to have insurance, and this should have been filed a week ago. And I was like, what if I shot it with my phone? She's like, I'm sorry, you have to go back. You can't go out there.
Yeah, we just wanted to take some pictures and video of Jim's airplane, right? And him talking about it and standing next to it. I mean, this is like the most ridiculous thing in the world I've ever heard.
Guess what, Jason? I got this news today. The reason she finally let us go was because of Steve Johnson, who flies RC with us. And he also flies an aerobatic airplane out of that airport. So the minute that we knew Steve, that's when everything de-escalated.
Yeah. And we were able to do the deal. So we got out there and was able to do everything we needed to do.
So the other thing is, who wouldn't run out to take a picture of that airplane right there? Here it goes.
Man, that Terry picture.
How awesome is that? Mecca, all we need to do is grab the graphic and turn it into a sticker and start selling these sticker sets. I want it on all my airplanes.
We don't even need to grab it. We just need to ask Jim for it because he's probably got the
high quality.
Yeah, he's probably got the vector of that.
So
that was designed by Picarelli. What was his guy's name?
Mirko. Who is an Italian designer who also designed the Commander with David Payne at Horizon.
Piccadilly.
It's got some famous heritage in that design there.
There's Jim Burke. I'm assuming right after it was ready to put in the air. He's only had 10 hours on it when we met him at the airport. And like 6 of those were flying to the airport.
Yeah.
And so I did a full review with dimensions and specs, and Jim.
There's your rest picture. Yeah.
Jim is on the USA Unlimited Aerobatics team. They're going to South Africa. And he said everybody but one person is flying this exact plane on the team.
Jim, one of the guys said, give her a hot trigger call and you would be sweet. That might not go over so well at an airport.
Handcuffed.
Well, hi,
hot trigger. Hot trigger.
She's like,
hot trigger.
Yeah.
So here we are. This is the scene of the crime where we were taking photos. Jim, Jason, and I. We went out. And so we took photos, and here's RC Groups and Flying Giants on the tail of the plane. Wait, my more photos is gone. Holy cow.
Hey, what happened?
Hey, how long have those been gone?
Yeah. Well, I didn't do that. Okay, I have more photos. After the podcast, I'll go in there and fix that. But we also have a video, and I'll hit just a little bit of it.
So you did give a nice shout out to the airport manager. I wish we could hear what's being said. You go. It's pretty funny, actually. Hey, everybody, Jim T. Graham
here.
I said we're at Toon Airport, and don't mess around with Toon security.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's Jim waving us out. See, he's waving. Come over here. Come here. And so then we went over, and I proceed to interview Jim about the plane. We talk about how it's different from the 330LX and why he likes it. And we talk about the motor and horsepower and all that good stuff. And you can check that out.
What radio he uses.
And at the end, there's outtakes where Jim and Jason get TSA searched. It's quite comical. There's rubber gloves and everything.
So how'd you come about to fly this airplane, Jim? Do you fly it around in circles? I sure do, Jim. How about you,
Well,
Matt?
if you don't fly, then you do. And if you didn't, then you won't.
Well, you don't know what it is.
You've got a nice bend on your hand there when you're trying to squeeze. You're conforming to the cockpit here. Watch this. Watch this. Jim's like, well, it's an airplane. It's got 4 wings and 3 blades and an engine up front. And
the
then
props are nice.
Look at this. Well, tell me more about it. Come on.
I wondered if anyone noticed my weird bend. Here's did anyone notice the other part about my hand there? What's on my wrist?
Oh, did you go to the emergency room?
No, that's my Joe Nall wristband right there.
What? You haven't taken it off yet? That thing's got to be 3 freaking layers of stank.
I took it off. I took it off after that day. I meant to mention it on. I wanted to do it on last week's podcast, and I forgot to. This RC Group sticker is not really on the airplane. Mecca, and that was for you.
Yeah, I see that. I know you would.
I think there's just constant battle between Matt and Jim to see who can make the coolest
I
like
got
logo on a picture.
I got
I
Jim.
noticed that.
I got Jim the other day when I put it on the tent of the Habaco thing, and I said, Habaco story's up, and he's like, awesome. And then I'm like, an hour later, I'm like, dude, did you see? See what? I'm like, look at it again. Oh, I thought that was real. Yes. Yes. 1-1. 1-1. We now have these stories going.
I'm looking for it right now. Hold on. When I find
It's
it.
the Habaco booth tour.
Yeah.
Photoshop
I am
skills
not a
plus
Photoshop
plus.
genius, so I bowed out of that competition.
Joe Vermillion said he's not mean enough to join the show today.
Well, you know, I know Joe has things he has to do.
He doesn't
That's
have
awful
enough
mean of him.
mean signal strength coming out of his mean, I don't know, internet service provider.
That was a joke that kind of failed. Didn't it?
Shut it.
Is that on Flying Giants?
It is on Flying Gigantes.
Gigantes.
Did you see the Flying Giants logo I added to the tarmac?
Oh yeah, I saw your attempt to one up both of us.
That wasn't it.
Okay,
That was okay.
I'm gonna share.
I got to show you guys what tool to do to make the best. I could do it live here and show you exactly how awesome it is to use this.
Just in case anyone cares. So there's Matt's Flying Giants on that tent. It was so realistic, I never even noticed it.
Yeah, see, I've gotten good at my photo chopping.
Okay, now in reply to that, we did a Big D thing for Greg and Jenny. They did a tribute to Big D, and so
I totally missed that. I never saw it.
I did too.
I probably looked at that picture 20 times. That's how good this stuff is. You got me, man.
I have a Big D story that is around this time frame right here that I don't think I can tell on the podcast, but it's the first time I ever met Big D, and he and I spent an hour in a frantic nighttime search for his cell phone.
Oh yeah.
And then when I finally found out, anyway, I can't really tell the story here, but that's when I immediately became good friends with Big D after that night.
Nice.
Big D, if you know him, you loved him.
Yeah, and there's not too many podcasts where you can say, "Hey, I got a Big D story I need to tell everybody," and people will know what you're talking about. So just so for the record, the man.
Oh my.
Hey, if you're an RC Groups guy and you don't know about Flying Giants, it's a partner site that we run, and it is all about giant scale airplanes. We do not deviate, my friends. We don't talk about quadcopters or micro scale anything. This is all
skin tags.
Yes, there's no skin tag coverage on this event. This is all giant scale news all the damn time.
You know what? I want to give a big shout out to Nikolai Zinsley for his excellent coverage.
Not to mention that, Nikolai, this is awesome leading image too.
Yeah, go ahead and feature that, Jimmy.
Oh,
there you go. I got you featured. There you go. Oh, that wasn't it. No, I was talking about. Oh, that's good too. I'm talking about his jet rally coverage. Yeah, that's okay. Get that crap out of here. No, I'm just kidding. That was a great story, by the way. But your jet coverage today was incredible.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
okay, I'll jump over there. Oh, by the way, we must talk about this airplane. In fact, we're going to show the video. How did I not do a story on this yet? Okay, we'll jump over to the jet story right here. So this is Nikolai's latest.
I thought we did do a story.
We did do a story on that plane. Not on FG, though. It was on RC groupage. So
maybe not.
Okay,
that video, I was keenly attached to my computer screen for 15 minutes watching that video. That's hard for me to do. I usually scroll through that stuff, but being the short attention span that I have, I watched every second of those jets. I was loving it.
If you're not, maybe you don't know about this either, this is all good stuff. This is the RC Groups YouTube channel. Now we have reviews, event coverage. What you're watching right now will be on this channel the minute that it stops. It gets uploaded. So let's see if it's easy to find this way. This video that I'm about to show you has had 40,000 views since
click
I
the
uploaded.
videos button.
Yeah, videoage.
I thought maybe it would be in our top list.
You thought. There you go.
You assumed.
You assumed wrongly.
Okay, so this video, Nikolai actually shot it. Thank you so much. And he said, "Hey, I've got this if you want it." And so,
I got corrected.
say what?
I got to correct you a little bit. I had some random guy that was on the flight line film it for me while I was taking pictures. So I got
Nice.
Way to utilize, brother.
Thanks to all the random guys out there.
Multitasking.
Check
I
this,
can't take video and pictures at the same time.
check this out. It's our live hangout right there. You can touch it and watch us right now and fall in an endless hole.
Yeah, well, you would definitely spiral into this internet vortex, and we would all die.
Okay, so what you're looking at right here is, I'm going to go widescreen. Sometimes this freezes up, but that is 100% Sky Baby. So in real life, a man could fly in a plane that size.
World famous Jason Shulman at the sticks.
Jay
No-
Schul, as he's named himself.
No shoes. And so look at the prop.
Bucket
It's
hat.
not, it's only a finger, half of a finger out from the body of the nose of the plane. How on earth does it produce any thrust and make anything happen?
Yeah.
All the thrust is directed down onto the ground.
Reynolds,
Look at that.
Reynolds numbers.
Maybe
I
it's
bet it's got to go.
okay. Now I said this. There's no way this will fly.
Yeah,
Look at it.
I did not think it would fly either.
Now, maybe it was Jason Shulman's magic, but everyone was like, "What?"
Everyone thought it was never going to turn.
Yeah, they said, somebody goes, "Turn it on the 3D line." So they, and I was like, "It's gonna." As soon as he turns it, it's gonna stall and crash. I knew it was going to.
Man, oh man, that thing is at 100% throttle, I bet.
So
They
this,
filled it with
It's a
helium.
giant Axie motor in there too. I thought that was cool.
I drive home from Jonal. I'm beat, and I've got to go clean the gutters of the house. And somebody asked about this, and I said, "You know what? I'm gonna download that, and I'm gonna real quick put it up." And the views on this video just have skyrocketed. Where's it
Unlike
at?
the aircraft.
Well, you know what? We're gonna fast forward. We'll do a pass over here.
Unlike the aircraft, which has gently crept into the air and is on the verge of stalling and crashing and filing an NTSB report, there may be a human in there right now. None of you know.
Am I right
said
that they started this build at the beginning of Jonal?
they started.
Yes, it wasn't built when I was there on Friday.
Yeah.
We saw them building it when we were getting our t-shirts.
Literally nothing to see.
I think that's cool and all, but man, who wants to waste their whole Jonal experience building an airplane
Talk to Joe.
when you could be out there flying it and seeing it and doing stuff?
40,000 people
Joe
disagree.
Vermillion, he built 3 days worth of Lysander.
Yep.
Man, oh man, what a cool plane.
So we'll get to the end here. When
I love
this
it. There was a, go ahead.
when this thing landed, the crowd burst. At this point, there were heckles and cheers and various. But the moment it touched the ground, and by the way, when it took off, there wasn't 20 people on the runway. When I turned around, the whole flight line was full.
Hey, there's an RC Group shirt. Hey, there's another.
Line John.
RC Groups. No, I see a blue in there.
And he landed that really smooth too.
Here we go.
Look at this thing. It's going.
It's just a little baby. It's a sweetheart.
Pink.
He one-wheeled it.
Pikachu.
In the next Cars movie.
And then
should find that microwave.
somebody posted in the comments that after that, 20 clowns got out of it.
And then there was this random post that was like, I never understood airplanes. They suck. And I'm like, what's wrong with these people, man? That's a quad guy.
Oh, by the way, I wanted to bring this up. 15 people, 42,000 views. 15 people did not like that video.
15 people
15 people.
work for the FAA.
What can you not like about that? I mean, how could you feel strongly enough to hit dislike? Well, I hate that plane flew. What the heck?
They thought it was.
didn't like-
They thought it was really bad CG.
15 people banned on RC Groups disliked that video.
They didn't think it was real, and they thought it was
They didn't like that
poorly
it was a
done.
payment
fake
scale.
video.
Somebody else said that it was a cartoon plane, and I sent them a link to Sky Baby. I'm like, dude, this is a full-on scale airplane.
Oh,
And then he
real.
disliked. One guy was proved wrong.
They should call that the negativity button. Negativity. Come on, life
Negatory.
is short. Keep it positive.
Seriously. Get you some.
All right. I can't believe an
So,
hour is almost up. Yes, Nikolai.
Oh no, I was just going to go back to before we diverted. The jet event was a lot of fun. It was the first time I got to go, so it was a good day.
Well, let's
You
go
know,
take
there was a one thing I've never seen, and it turned out really awesome in that video. Watch the video. About halfway through it, there's an A10, very scale A10, and he's doing a strafing run, and he turns on the smoke, but it's happening so fast it looks like it's firing the chain gun. It's just boom, and then he turns it off right after. Perfect, best use of smoke from a turbine I've ever seen.
Yep.
And then there's a guy flying an F-16 like he stole it from Edwards Air Force Base. And he literally was like inverted at 4 feet, slapping the runway with the vertical stab. It was just awesome.
Well, that's
Yeah, it's
not
15
working.
minutes of load time on that puppy.
Yeah. All right. We'll back out of that.
That's
Well,
the
there's
A10, by the way. So when he does a strafing run, I swear he's got a sound module in it. And I thought I heard Bert. I could have been wrong, but to me, I heard Bert.
You would never want
I
to
think
be
it
on
was
the
just you.
receiving.
I think it was just me. I don't
Well,
know.
Nikolai, thank you for that. You wrote me and you're like, I'm going. And I'm like, I definitely, what I don't ever want to do is take away from somebody's experience at a show trying to get coverage. So,
Yeah.
but I appreciate you doing it.
Well, that turned out for good.
So this is until September, but the Apache Pass folks contacted me. You know, I hung out with Crash Hancock at Joe Nall. He was there for the first time, and he's been going here to fly. And so he was like, man, you would love this place.
Where is Apache Pass?
It's in downtown Texas.
Hmm.
And if it's called Apache Pass, I have to think there were Apache Indians there at some point. So it was not a safe place to travel in 1868.
Get your wig peeled back.
So the town is called Downtown Texas.
Let's go verify that.
You know that's my my name on World of Tanks, right?
No, what's your name?
Peel your wig back.
No.
All one word. I think that some guy told me that, and like I don't know. I digress. Anyway, Apaches.
Here we go. Oh, thank
Ooh,
goodness. I was
wow.
about to be upset. Rockdale, Texas. I don't know where I got downtown. You know, these shows are always around little towns and they'll grab one name.
And it's always another.
All the info's there. If you want to get down there, you can.
Would be cool to go. You know what? All I need is an RV, and I'll just be mobile and just go to shows.
That's what I'm going to do when I retire. Oh, dead air, dead air. I'm just looking around now. I was going to say, this contest is over today, Matt Gunn. So we have to pick a winner out of 34,000, almost 35,000 views. That's a few. We're going to do it again. That's happening again, but we have two contests to make you aware of. I'm so glad. Are we looking at my contest now? Oh no. Let me stop.
Did you announce yet on the Extreme Flight one that we would be picking a winner on Monday?
I said the winner will be. I forget the way I said it, but somebody said that was their username, and they were excited that they won.
Monday.
The winner will be announced on Monday, and the guy goes, "My username is announced on Monday."
That's awesome.
That was pretty good.
That was tricky to get that out.
I know, right?
We have a how-to contest going on right now on RC Groups for a $250 Horizon gift certificate.
Dude, there's lots of money flowing.
Yeah. So the concept is you can buy what you want. We're not going to tell you that you have to buy this or that. You're going to get the money. And you create a how-to thread on RC Groups. Then you link back to RC Groups.
People needed a little help understanding the rules.
Well-
Text by must have just jumped on, Jim. He goes, "Who's the chick with long hair that sounds like Jim?"
Who said that?
That's funny. Tech Spy 2008.
We also
Love it.
have this contest, RC Groups photo caption contest. And so this is almost as complicated as the how-to contest. You have to upload an image. And I actually made a video on how to do this. You have to upload an image and add a caption with the airplane's name in it.
And they still screwed it up.
And so that is happening right now as
Good
well.
stuff.
So those are the contests. I'm going to stop sharing now. By the way, I have my hair down for Greg Allman. It's in tribute to Greg Allman. I'm not joking. I know this is an RC podcast. but I've always been in the Allman Brothers. The last year, I've really been in the Allman Brothers. When I woke up the day Greg died, I actually had a Allman Brothers song in my head. I stood up out of bed and sang the line to my wife as I headed down to drink coffee. And
Wow.
then Greg passed away that day. So that's how heavily I involved in the Allman Brothers I am.
Hey, did you know I took drum lessons from Greg Allman's cousin?
No? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
In Savannah, Georgia. Her name's Annie. And she taught me a lot. She has a guitar store. I think it's now closed down. That's been many years ago. But she had a guitar store in Savannah, and I did drum lessons there when I was playing in a punk band.
Well, Warren Haynes, who used to play for Greg, it lives in around the same town as Chris Henson of Extreme Flight. So he swears that me and Warren Haynes and Chris are going to get together in his basement studio and jam. So I have that to look forward to.
You should bring back the Allman Brothers.
Shades now.
Yeah. Oh, clip-ons, man.
Clip.
I got nothing.
Well, we're headed towards the end of the podcast. So once again, I'm headed out to the Horizon show next week. So stay tuned for coverage coming out of there. Matt Gunn, you're going to be covering a wedding.
Yeah. You know what's funny is that, actually it's not funny. As a photographer and videographer, I get suckered into this sort of stuff. So it's like all of a sudden, bam, now I'm the impromptu video guy at the ceremony. How did that happen? What did I do to deserve that? I just want to sit and enjoy a wedding and have some drinks afterwards, right?
So David Payne works at Horizon, designed the Commander, and a longtime friend of Jason and I is married to Kim Payne, who also works in marketing for Horizon. They were married at the Chattanooga airfield. And so I attended their wedding and I took photos there for them and had a good time. And they're having the 51st anniversary of that field. I forget what the year is, but on June 21st, they're having a anniversary show down there at Chattanooga.
Nice.
Jason, they want us to go.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And it's Chattanooga, so it's not too far away.
Yeah.
So Jason, where are you headed next week?
Well, as you can see by my lovely tag there, I'm heading to the beach, man. So we're going to St. Augustine.
Oh, I love St. Augustine.
Got basically a free place to stay on the beach, so I'm super pumped about that. I'm bringing a paraglider. I'm bringing a DLG. Bringing my Revolution kite.
Dude, you're not going to be spending any time with your sweetheart.
Well, she can lay on the beach while I play a little bit.
Y'all been married like 2 years now. So.
About 2 years. Well, 15 last month.
Hey, you need to put a comma after the word bound in your title there so we don't think you're a beach-bound baby.
Beach-bound baby.
So with that said, everyone who has been hanging out with us, we will not be having a live broadcast next week, but you did notice we had 2 in a row. So we're back on the gravy train of weekly podcast. Nikolai, are you headed to a foreign land next week?
No, I'll be sticking around next week. There is an IMAC in Tennessee, but I don't think I'm going to make it out.
Miss Ashley will be going to that IMAX show, so she'll be covering that for FlyingGiants.com.
Very nice.
Yeah. So
hey, I'm going to fly some planes this afternoon with DJ Moose of Flying Giants. We're gonna fly the Cessna 170 from Flex Innovations, and we're gonna fly the Extreme Flight family of brands. What's the little guys? What's the little Extreme Flight?
Well, they have a few. The Crop Duster.
Yeah, man, I know it's the Duster. It's the 44-inch Duster. I'm just having a brain fart of the family of brands name of it. You know, the oh my God, now I'm dead.
Legacy Aviation.
Legacy
Yes.
Aviation. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for
man.
saving me.
Okay, so you're headed out. Jason and I were at the field today, which was a nice break from when you come back from a show, man. You got to catch up, but then you have to put all the event coverage out, and then you have to get back to real life. So it was nice to stop and go out to the field for a minute and hang out with everybody.
Yeah.
That coverage train rolled on for like a week and a half after Jonal.
The most coverage from Joe Dahl we've ever done, ever.
Did you see what Hobbico said about us
No.
in their You guys talk. I'm going to find out. This is actually really nice what was said.
Blah, blah, blah. Oh,
Yeah, right.
So,
Okay, so it says, if you miss Joe Nall, this is from Hamako. If you miss Joe Nall, all you have to do is visit rcgroups.com and flyinggiants.com for the best video and photo recaps around.
Wow.
Take a tour of our booth and exclusive video interviews from this year's event. So that's what it says on Habako's Facebook page. Nice,
That's
huh?
awesome. That's awesome.
Truth.
All right. Well,
Truth,
thanks
guys.
to
This is
them.
all true.
Thanks to all you guys. Jason, have a great vacation. Nikolai, have a great standard week, which sounds pretty awesome in itself. Matt, enjoy your wedding, and I will drive safely with my new tires all the way to Horizon's event. And
New tire or new tires?
New tires. Yes,
You got all. You got 3 more.
well, it's in the shop right now, getting tires put on.
Nice, man. It's about time you put some tires on that.
I'm a
some
Firestone.
spinners on there.
Yeah.
Spinners, fidget spinner wheels.
Oh yeah, and Ready Made's coming out with the new fidget spinner quad at some point in time. So we're
Billy
looking forward to it.
L250 edition.
Yeah, the V Billy Hell, the BH.
This can happen.
Who knows? It might.
It might already be under wraps or under works.
It's a lot of switching from head to head. There's a story about
A
a man
lovely
named Randy. Who was okay? All right, everybody, you've been watching the. Hold on, let me get my shades back on for Greg. You've been watching the RC Groups Live Hangout, where we talk about topical news of the RC world with RC pilots and builders and reviewers and just normal Joes like you. So join us not next week because we'll all be somewhere, but join us the week after that. Otherwise, just go to RC Groups, the world's largest and most active RC web network, or flygiants.com, where the coolest giant scale pilots hang out all the dang time.
There's lots of vibe in there.
I'm hope no one's having an epileptic fit now. All right, I'm signing off. Thanks, you guys. Clicking the button.
Click it.
Later.
Oh, Trevor.